शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु Mangalacharan, I have told you that it is more than a ritual. It is an opening of the inner door. So, the motivation of the crazy mind can be reset by the Mangalacharan. What is that attitude of the crazy mind? What can I get? And your Mangalacharan changes to how can I manifest peace and happiness, love and wisdom in my life. So that invocation, that Mangalacharan is basically an invocation, and invoking means that can I recognize or just hold in the mind. My friends, just hold in the mind weeks and days and weeks and months, and one day you will find it. What you have to hold in? I have to recognize that the peace and happiness are within me. That is the true message of invocation. Understand it clearly and live into that state. You are into anxiety and you say, okay, peace and happiness are within me. It is because the mind is distracted somewhere. So then comes the gratitude. What the gratitude does, you have to be very clear. Gratitude turns the knowledge into nourishment. It is a mental key. What is the mental key? That admits wisdom as an honored guest. But if there is no gratitude in the Mangalacharan, the mind is not going to change, and the mind is not going to change, then mind will not admit wisdom as an honored guest, and then there is no change in our life. Open your eyes. You have to think every day. Why you also do it every day when you have reached to that state? Real self is infinite, eternal. I get another level of revelation, another way of expressing the same principle. Why should not I do it? And second thing, that after all, what you should do, you have too much of time because the mind is not in stress and anxiety and reaction. What should you do? You do it the same thing. You repeat it so that the revelation takes place, and that changes your behavior and attitude. That changes your cognitive understanding. It is something that how you can unlock your heart to allow the wisdom to enter within. You have to unlock. A heart means here the crazy mind. Do I learn to gain or do I learn to recognize the happinesses within me? That is the message of the Mangalacharan. We will have one more session on the faith, belief, faith, and the trust. Belief, faith, and the trust. We discussed that the happiness is not created, it is recognized. So it means My mind is crazy searching for happiness outside, and it does it silently. We don't become aware means we are not a seeker. So every day this week, check, are you a seeker? Do you recognize that happiness is within you? Otherwise, people get into a fully busy anxiety, duality, and a conflict. And to change that perspective, it takes time. So when I say the happiness is not created, it is recognized. How can you go further? Awakening is not a future event, but a recognition of but a recognition here and now. So the master gives another metaphor. The happiness is like the sunlight, always present, but sometimes hidden by the clouds of the thoughts, clouds of the crazy mind, clouds of my anger, clouds of my ego, clouds of. So I have to recognize it. I have to remind myself. Happiness is not something to produce, but to recognize it, and then you can join Mangala Charan. I told you Mangala Charan, invocation. Invocation, you are acknowledging, you are recognizing that happiness is within. That is why we use the word invocation. Can you invoke any time of the day? Yes. Just it's a matter of awareness. I'm aware that happiness is within me, finished. And now let me work on it. If I'm surrounded by anxiety, duality, and a conflict, but if you don't have a belief, you have to start with the belief that peace is within me, happiness is within me, and the love is within me, truth is within me, wisdom is within me. If I don't believe, I cannot move to the faith. And if I cannot move to the faith, I cannot have a trust. Then the inner transformation is not possible. Then what happens? We listen to the teacher, yes, listen to the teacher of the Eastern wisdom, yes, peace and happiness are within me. I know you are consoling me. Really? If your mind thinks that way, then what happens? Then what happens? Then these thoughts easily turns into a blind belief. And from the blind belief, what happens? When you are in a blind belief, it backfires one day. You get too much frustrated. Never ever, especially in Eastern wisdom, if one master says happiness is within me, yes, let me believe you and start believe pending inquiry. Believe pending inquiry. It is like you buy the seeds of the flowers from a shop and come back home, and these seeds are lying. You are not planting those seeds. The very planting of the seed is the faith. Let me try how it can become a tree. You nurture it. Are you understanding? You nurture it, you nourish it, and then it becomes the tree. And the very fruit is the trust. You believe, seed, everyone believes it. That is what the principles of Eastern wisdom. You just start with that. Yes, no issue. Belief, then comes you have to nurture and nourish it. So when you nurture and nourish it, you are getting rid of the crazy mind, the ignorant mind, the delusion. And from inside the planting, that sapling starts. Sapling means that you have changed your attitude. Until yesterday, you were talking very rough, but today you have started talking softly. It's a gentle touch. Now, Terry never says my maid makes me crazy. She has not said for the last 6 months. There is a change. I'm not saying that you believe me. You have to work on your mind. Belief, planting, faith, flower or fruit, trust. Trust is the arrival point. Faith is the journey. Belief is the map. Belief simply means you accept the teaching as possibly true. Happiness is my nature, possibly true. Faith is repeatedly testing that teaching in real situation. You are talking to the honey you don't like, what he or she said, you are testing it. What is the principle? That don't turn event into an incident. You did not turn, and you feel, yes, I'm still relaxed. You have already tested it. I'm giving such a simple example. And then what happens? Now you repeat it again and again, and every time you find the same result. Trust is there. The trust is lived. It is an unshakable conviction born from your own experience. You have a direct experience. And that is the way the teachers of the Eastern wisdom helps you understand the teacher's experience should become your experience. The belief can become blind if it is not tested. Trust is only real when proven by life. That is what the Eastern wisdom is, the self discovery is. I should have a direct experience. That is what we are moving, that is where we are moving. Direct experience of the real self, my friends. So in the middle of the journey, the people leave it. How can I say that please don't leave? It is your preference. Who made the preference? My mind. My mind said that I have found peace and happiness. You will leave it. One way. Or no, I did. No, this is just, this is not possible. Then you leave it. So you did not start with the belief, faith, and the trust. You did not inquire. You did not experiment. You are not ready to do it. You are not a seeker. What should I say? I gave an example of a mirror covered with the droplets of water, each reflecting a different scene. Each droplet is a role, a story, a fear, a resentment, a positive thought, a negative thought of detachment on the mirror. So one thought pops up into your mind, oh, nothing is happening, let me leave it. So you leave this end. Another thought, how it is possible that happiness is within me. That droplet is amplified, it clouds the entire mirror, you leave the session. Now in the modern world, we have lot of ways to help the people to return to you. Marketing, sales, promotion. but it doesn't work because you don't start with the belief. It may work to get some more money, but normally there is hardly a change in that way. Sometimes there is a change. So you see, each the mirror itself is your awareness, remains clear and unchanged, but your experience feels fragmented and restless. Purification then is not about becoming thoughtless or pure. It is about gathering this scattered mind back into the focus. Mind says nothing is happening. Mind, you have said this, very good. Let me continue. Make one more try. So you are not suppressing that negative thought or a positive thought. You are just shifting. You recognize that this thought is a droplet. It does not work this way. I have to continue. Awakening is not fewer thoughts, it's a new relationship with them. New relationship. Your mind says, oh, this guy is crazy. Thank you, mind. I acknowledge it. But I'm not going with you. You're not suppressing. You're not reacting. Is it possible? Oh, my mom is crazy. Okay, mind, I acknowledge it. But I'm not going with you. Can you see it in your mind? So, awakening is not about having fewer thoughts, but about a different relationship with them. Why I am saying so? Because now the belief is turning into the faith. Any thought, feeling, sensations are objects in awareness. It is not me. I hate you does not mean, or I love you does not mean this thought is me. I hate you is also a thought, I love you is also. We need that extraordinary awareness to move ahead. That is why the Shraddha, the faith, is explained that we need that level of awareness. Come what may. No droplet is thrown on the mirror. I am independent. Then it is possible. Then the life is possible. And that I explained you a couple of times. You are not the movie, you are the screen. I hate you is a thought, is a movie. I love you is a movie, is another plot. Huh? I like you, that is another plot in the movie, the drama of the life. I am the screen. I am pure awareness. I have to remind myself. Why? To abide in that faith. Then what is the realization? Can you imagine? When you are clear, all your thoughts, all your experiences are nothing but this movie, and the screen is not affected, then the relationship don't break. What you do in the relationship? You drive away all the expectations from that relationship. So from your side, you are happy. From your side, the relationship is the best. That comes by the faith. Are you understanding that point? Relationship don't break. Sometime it breaks. Sometime it breaks, but from your side you are very clear. Your intention, your motivation, your thought, your expression, everything is very clear. You are relaxed and calm. Look at this, Samir, 35 years. Ashok is also 35 to 40 years. A lot of people. hundreds of people. And and I met in 2007, and still she is still continuing one session a week. At this age, she is almost 90. Relationship don't break. But why it don't break? You drive away all your expectations. Mind is very clear. The wisdom is settled in the intellect with such a faith that you continue to have a relationship. You have no problem. And once you reach to that state, you experience the sense of freedom in you. Why? Why the relationship don't break, our expectations about them do. So you drive away, you don't have now any expectations. What is your job? You move with love and care and share. Okay, I hate you, thank you, you hate me, you are lovely. No, you don't say inside, express it, but internally you have that awareness. The real relationship exists at the level of awareness. It is beyond physical, emotional, and social roles. Outer forms may change or end, but underlying relatedness in consciousness remains unbroken. Pain is not invalidated, but it is repositioned. Your frustration is not invalidated. Frustration and expectation and anxiety, they go together. So you recognize it, you acknowledge it, you change your mind attitude. It is repositioned, no longer tied to the loss or gain. What happens? Inner freedom. That is the faith I'm talking about. That is the faith. The real relationship is at the level of awareness. If your mind is so much pure and you start living, relating people at the level of awareness, you are always free. Then you know that relationship don't break. And that sense of inner freedom needs trust. It doesn't work with the belief. I believe you, honey. I believe you. It doesn't work, you know. Why? In between the ego comes. I believe you are getting it. So, what we are doing, we have done sama, inner calm. We have done external calm, dhamma. You have to repeat it and apply it. Then we have done the uparama. We have done the uparama. We have done titiksha, the endurance, resilience, and equanimity. And we are almost done with the shraddha, the faith. Sama, inner calm is a natural state of, it is a natural state, not something to be forced. So when the mind becomes pure, mind withdraws inside, you will find the inner calm. Becomes a play. Mindfulness of the breath in the body helps to let go of the mental chatter. That is why it is very famous on the Google also, that let us be mindful of the body and the breath. There is some sort of inner calm comes, but that inner calm, sama we are talking, it comes by this journey. Calm is your true nature. I have to recognize, I have to acknowledge. The default mind creates waves. Sama is returning to calmness. Recognizing calm brings clarity. It also brings the resilience. It also brings the peace. And then we come to the Dhamma. Like the reins, guiding horses, Dhamma is directing the senses. You become aware. How I see you, your shape, your form, how I see the object, how I hear the sound. Like reins guiding the horse, the mind, conscious mind is there. So Dhamma is directing the senses. Observe how senses react to external stimuli and gently redirect attention. Sensory control is not suppression, it is a wise engagement. That is Dhamma. The senses are the tools. Mastery means using them consciously. Dhamma is a conscious direction of the senses, not suppression. It is not a denial. These are the tools. Senses are the tool. Mastery means using them consciously. Then we came to Uparama, like a turtle, I told you, like a turtle withdrawing into its shell. Uparama is pulling back from the unnecessary engagement. Say, you are all present, and my mind is focused on, for example, one person, where I see the reaction. Oh, let me withdraw. Why? Mind? Do eyes have some sense of reaction? No. I do it consciously. Sometimes you see a person in the mind and body changes. So I have to work with the Sama and Dhamma first, and then comes the Uparama. Oh, what I have to do with it? Withdrawal is not an escape. It is an intelligent disengagement. Why we are doing it? We want to raise our level of awareness. But why we want to raise our level of awareness? We want to find our real nature. I want to have a direct experience of the withdrawal is a skill for inner stability, Uparama. And then we come to the Titiksha. We already discussed about resilience. Titiksha, the resilience like the mountain enduring storm. I never understood the meaning when my master used to say when there is a snowstorm. He used to live in the Himalayas in his young age doing penance and austerity. So he used to say, hide inside the cave until the snowstorm is there. When the storm comes down, then come out of the cave. Now apply that in your life. Apply in the relationship. If your honey is reactive, fighting with you, it is better to withdraw yourself. Now it's a matter of my ego, it's a matter of, sometimes we can say women's liberation or men's liberation. Unnecessary. Hold on, calm down, withdraw, hide into the cave, let other continue to release their anger and hesitation, and then you have a time to communicate. No? Oh yes. I don't know what my AI camera is doing. Resilience is not passive endurance, but very active, conscious response. The default mind resists. The Tiksha accepts and transforms. Default mind, deluded mind. It will always resist. How do you react to the challenges? Can you find learning in them? Resilience is cultivated by regular practice. That's why I'm spending little more time on these 6 treasures. You have to do the practice. And then comes the Shraddha, the faith. All the 4 treasures helps you to discover that process of belief, faith, and the trust. Your mind is not relaxed, you are not ready to listen, you don't understand, you don't apply. So then we say, oh, believe. Tell me what is meditation in 5 minutes. I don't know. And after all, why should I tell you? Why should I agree to your condition? Your mind is already crazy. I lose a lot of people when I respond like this. It's okay, it's a part of the journey. Shraddha, the faith or the trust, is earned through daily experience. It is not a philosophical or a dry intellectual concept. You have to start with a belief, test it by the faith, and then you reach to a trust. Faith is not blind, it is verified through direct experiences. You've already seen for the last almost 6 years now. The default mind doubts. Deluded mind will always doubt. The faith is stable and unshakable. Because you have started practicing it, and then it moves to the trust. But if you are simply believing for the sake of believing, it will work like a then we reach to a point where mind now recognizes awakening is a process of recognition, not creation. And there the six treasures works very well. We will talk about the sixth treasure in our next lesson. Let us have some discussion on that. Yes, Dennis, you want to go ahead?
I think it is an important statement you made in the beginning that we need to recognize when the mind starts looking for happiness outside. I know this with myself that sometimes I don't recognize it right away, and only sometime after, when I analyze past events, I understand that, oh, this was the moment when I expected that this person or this object or this relationship will give me some pleasure. So it turns out I was looking for happiness there, and I didn't actually realize it because the mind has this blind belief that happiness is outside. And we challenge that blind belief, the faith uh, that happiness is within me. Or if we put it, reword it, put it in different words, we the mind challenges our faith in Eastern wisdom by offering different pleasures outside to make us forget that happiness is inside. And it indeed requires extraordinary focus and awareness to recognize these moments and remind the mind that real happiness is not outside. And these six treasures, samadhi, parama, and diksha, definitely help us to maintain the needed level of awareness, and faith helps us to continue the journey.
Beautifully said. It demands an extraordinary awareness. How I get the extraordinary awareness? By sincerity, by commitment to the journey of this self-discovery. Otherwise, nothing. And one more point. It is not that we will get that in the first instance. Sometimes we will commit mistakes. So instead of the mistakes, then is that, but my mind by default it was searching happiness outside. Eastern wisdom says no, it is inside. I lose awareness. I am searching outside. I get frustrated. Later on, I recognize. I acknowledge. No, it is within me. So now what happened? My anxiety is gone. My reaction to that person is gone or to that event is already gone. So I am not creating more impression, and that gradually progressing into an extraordinary awareness. That helps you to go higher into the meditation. Yes, Stephen, you want to say something?
Thank you, sir. I always appreciate how simple you make these concepts, and I try to keep it simple. Like I said before, I believe the belief aspect is when we first all started, that we had a belief of what this journey was going to be for us. And I complete faith in the fact that all the bad stuff is something that happens outside of myself. Because anytime that something does happen that triggers or whatever it is, like, you just step back, look inside, and it's not within, it's definitely something outside. So I get all of that. And I started really thinking about these six treasures, and you posed the question of, like, why did the masters put faith as the fifth treasure? And that's what I started thinking about most. And I'm starting to realize that, it's this cycle. And if you go to and we've said that before, but if you go to the Samadana Uprama, we get there, and we've been learning how to get there for all these years. And then it's Titiksha that's really important, because it's the resilience of everything that's thrown at you to be able to maintain the peace and happiness and understand from within. And I think what ends up happening is that it could be that one trigger that we're not resilient, and then we have to start all over again. And by now learning about the faith and focusing in on the faith to get to the trust, that faith helps with the resilience.
Yeah.
And just to have the trust that you're on the path, you become more resilient, and that's what allows us to be able to move forward without the hesitation, without the people who are leaving the session, without the people who, because you lose that faith. And if you just stay with it, it just helps and brings those other treasures to the forefront faster and longer.
Beautiful. You see that, when I say, when I'm not relaxed and calm, there is a lack of awareness, because my mind is engaged in conflict, duality. Then I cannot understand what is belief, faith, and the trust. But if I do not maintain the resilience, the titiksha, still I cannot understand what is the faith. Where is the faith? Then I will ask the stupid questions. What is this? Oh, so after awakening, you will stop going to the restroom? That is the stupid question. Why? It is at the physical level. Awakening is at the higher consciousness level, what it has to do with the food. So people get caught into the blind belief in the faith. Oh, so you have not eaten the food for the last 45 days, or even the polar bears, they don't eat the food for 3 to 6 months. Are you a great master? We get caught in those things, and we are not following those practices. Beautifully said. Do you want to say, Christina? We don't hear you. Okay, no problem. Yes, Samir, we will talk later. Yes.
For one thing you told in the beginning, that welcome the wisdom. Mind should welcome the wisdom. So when mind will welcome the wisdom, when it will have trust that all the solution of all my problems lies in the wisdom, then my mind will welcome the wisdom. When my mind will have belief, will whatever you say, or trust or faith that all the solutions of all my problems are in that wisdom,
Yes.
then I will welcome that wisdom in me.
Yes.
And as I start practicing, as I understanding, slowly this faith or this trust develops in me. And then I start welcoming the wisdom. And then this wisdom makes my faith or trust, whatever you said, more stronger, and more wisdom and more stronger is the faith and trust in me. And I land into peace and happiness. That is my what is my personal experience.
That is what our entire journey says. Asatoma Satgam. We are moving from the false to real, moving from the ignorance to wisdom. Now see, one master starts teaching that once you have a right knowledge, means that can be easily applied, which is the wisdom, it will lead you to awakening and self-realization and the self-knowledge. But behind it, all these practices are there, whether you say Sama, Dhamma, Uparama, Tidiksha, and the Shraddha is there. Yes, beautifully said. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Wow, that was like a graduate thesis that you just gave there. It was a summary of our almost 6 years or whatever it's been together. So for me, the sort of the seeds, which is the belief, have been there, but they weren't applied for me. And the more I've applied them in recent times, the more faith I'm seeing and getting glimpses of truth. Therefore, I want to generate more seeds, which generates more faith, which generates more trust. So I'm really, today's lesson was perfect. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautifully said. Mind says, oh, Michael is crazy. Am I aware? And can I say to the mind what you have to do, even if the Michael is crazy? So I land up in a new awareness. I drop that. But to drop that, I need a Sama and Dhamma before I can start with the seed. So Sama, Dhamma, Urama, I need that state of the calmness, because in that state of the calmness, I live in a higher awareness. I live in wisdom. What I have to do. That is one option. What is the second option? Oh, he is crazy and he makes me crazy. How he can make me crazy? Because happiness is within me. Now you see the second solution. So why you are learning daily, weekly? Because your mind gets many solutions, many ways to express and rise in awareness. In one session, it is not possible. I'm just giving you another reference, how I learned from my own master. How are you, Jerry?
Thank you, sir. Good. I also like the garden perspective, the seeds. The Mangalacharan, I feel, is the seeds. It's that packet of seeds that we get to plant, and then we get to nourish it through our practice. That really steadfast hammering practice of detachment, and realizing and recognizing through presence when we're not detached, and then embodying that essence. We no longer ask, why is this happening to me? Why is the world like this? We don't ask those kind of questions anymore. We just see the isness in everything and stay present.
Yes. You don't ask stupid questions from why the God created this world. Because he did not ask from you. Who is first? God first or you are first? Now that becomes a stupid question. So we have to be very, very it helps you to live into that higher awareness and live into that state of the isness. We will do the practice and then we'll share our experiences. Eyes are closed. Do you remember the poise method, the presence? Place, position, and posture. Consciously, are you aware of it? Your mind is moving on the entire body. So it's a withdrawal, the change of direction. Do you feel the change of direction of the mind? And do you experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness? Do you experience that sensation, comfort, and steadiness? Because now you see that, when a mind is inside, then it can easily notice, observe thought, feeling, and experiences passing by. Oh, these thought, feeling, and experiences are passing by. I move from one experience to the another, from one thought to the other, and the I remains constant, and that is an observer. So I recognize the observer as a constant I, not as a changing I. When you recognize as a changing I, then it is a deluded mind. I'm redefining it. You have to understand that. You have to live with that wisdom. I'm redefining according to the teaching. So when you continue to observe and notice, that is the word letter O, observer. Now you have from the presence, from noticing, you are sided with an observer. Observer. Whether I say observer or a seer or a knower, it is like a guard sitting in a gated community watching people coming and going, not saying anything, recognizing, acknowledging. That is an observer in our mind. We further investigate. So you further investigate, or you can invoke Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, because your mind is already inside. It is already calm as you shared your experiences, so it is the right time. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be peace for all, happiness for all, completeness for all, auspiciousness for all. With that gratitude, by invoking the mantra, you are acknowledging peace and happiness are already within me. And that helps you absorb the mind deeper within. It can happen instantly. It may take some time, depending on your commitment and sincerity. So instead of doing the fast breathing, we will move directly to the flow of the breath. Just look at the investigate. Now let me. So with that flow of the breath, you will find there is always a space. Breath goes in, before it comes out, there is a space. But I'm talking of a simple breath flow of the breath. You're not changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath. And every time the breath goes in, you drop Om Shanti on the track of the breath, going in and coming out. I believe you remember I told you we need to work on that part of the practice, the static, the dynamic, dropping of Om Shanti, and then it will help us to go deeper. Even a shorter practice, you'll find it's much longer when the mind gets absorbed deeply. And I'll go to the static Om Shanti. You start dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. You already know. So first was the dynamic, the breath is going in and out, and on which you were dropping Om Shanti. This time you are dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments. They are static. And now move the mind inside the heart. Visualize the triangle pointing upward. And now you see that, what happens to the static and the dynamic. You are moving the mind on the side of a triangle and dropping Shanti. So we have an awareness of the triangle that doesn't move. But you are moving the mind and Om Shanti, dropping Om Shanti on each side of a triangle, moving it clockwise and anti-clockwise. You are in fact breaking the old pattern of the mind. The mind only has a set pattern of perception. And if we don't break it, we cannot enter into higher awareness. So continue clockwise movement and anti-clockwise movement. Now I used to say, when you see there is a sink obviously the sync comes because the mind is already withdrawn inside. So that sync comes. And that is the point where we push the mind by singing Om deep into the cave of your heart. Mind seems to stop. You say Shanti, then you do nothing. You embody. According to the poise method, E is the letter embody. You embody the real self. Totally infinite space. There is nothing inside and outside. So, any practice of meditation can lead you to a higher state. It all depends on your understanding, your wisdom at that particular moment. And that is why you see, I customize and personalize these practices in a variety of ways. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share the experiences first with David and Jerry. They have to leave. Yes, bring the hands down. Yes, David and Jerry.
Thank you. Very, very peaceful, quiet meditation for me right after the initial place posture, and we started the breathing exercise. I had an extreme focus on the apex, that split second, microsecond between the inhale and the exhale at the top and the bottom of my breath, the entire meditation, which caused great peacefulness. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Thank you, sir. I'm good. Just succinct, absorbed, aware. Thank you.
And very good. And how are you, Webhub? Let us do it, Webhub first. And Terry.
Thank you, sir. So mine was calm. It was really relaxed and peaceful. It's like withdrawing from that life events for a certain time. It gives a new perspective to the situation, which is more responsive and more clear.
Definitely. Definitely. It gives a new perspective to the life. When somebody is agitated over you, you have a new perspective. This hesitation because of the deluded mind. Let me maintain the calm and ask for the reason and see how can I solve. This can be applied in our daily life. I'm giving you only one perspective. You can create millions of perspectives in daily life. And that changes the entire life. So it means we are setting a stage for awakening. We are setting a stage for awakening. Very good. So how are you, Terry, if you want to share?
I was thinking about the screen self.
Yeah, screen and the movie.
As experiencing the meditation.
That's a wonderful, that's a deeper one.
Yeah, that was a new idea to me.
Yes, that screen is me, which is unchanging, eternal, real self, of permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. The rest is the drama. What is drama? I think I gave the lesson. You go to the restroom, you eat, and all other activities which is changing, I told you, which has a starting point and a finishing point. I started the session. It will be finished. Am I finished after finishing the lesson? No. So that is the screen. Who is not finished? What is finished? It's just the movie and the drama. It takes place every day. It is happening even now. Now, can you come, Christina? Okay, at least now I'm happy you are still smiling. So that is good. It's a problem with the machine, not with me. Yeah? Yes, Stephen.
I'm good, sir. Thank you. It was a lot of experiences today. When you said to close your eyes, I wasn't quite in position to start. So as I crossed my legs to get into lotus pose, I had an enormous amount of discomfort in my body. My legs were tight, my body stiffened up, and the moment we started chanting, and it was almost instantaneous. I knew when you were going to start the mantra, and I started it in my head, and my entire body relaxed. Everything just went away. And then, similar to David, as soon as we started the breathing, my focus was at the top of the breath and the bottom of the breath, and just just being in that space. And that stayed with me my entire rest of the practice to when you were at the triangle, I could just have the sense that I was being absorbed within myself. And it was just total peace. So again, thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful said. You see the power of Mangalacharana. The moment you start the mantra, it shifts your awareness. It shifts your awareness that I am not the body, I am not the body. From I am the body, I feel hesitation, I feel a lot of pressure or stretching, to I am not the body. Not by suppression, it is not by force, it is shifting your attention and awareness that brings the result. I told you my master used to speak for about 4 to 5 hours in one gathering of hundreds of people, 5 hours, in 6 feet 4 inches, 150 pounds, at the age of 85, 86. And I could see that he did not move his body for 5 hours. After 5 hours, he says, now, can you lift the horse? He used to refer to the body. This is a horse. Can you lift it? Help me. Because, it became totally numb for 5 hours. But did I see any trace of anxiety on his face? No. No. So, you also get inspired, but only provided you have sama, dhamma, uparama. Otherwise, you will say, look at this master, crazy guy. He should have relaxed. That is another way to say it. He has done his suffering.
My meditation was peaceful. The infinite space was there. The focus was on the space, and thoughts, feelings, sensations were far away. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, yes. It is the same experience of screen and movie. I have spoken about screen and movie at least, 50 times. But Terry's mind caught the attention today. That is wonderful. That is why we need to repeat it. It's wonderful. Live with that screen and the drama outside, screen and the drama. This drama 1 hour session is coming to an end. This is also a drama, but it's a good drama. It's a good drama. We'll have one more session, why faith needs endurance, based on sharing your experiences. We will take the last session, why faith needs endurance, the power of the Tiksha in cultivating faith, the power of the Tiksha, power of the Tiksha, power of endurance, resilience in moving to the faith. Consciously, if you work consciously, I think Stephen pointed out that he was going into the lotus pose and then lot of challenges. So we accept the challenges without reacting to it. Let me go to the Terry. You accept the challenges of the body without reacting to it. You are shifting your attention. That the Tiksha moves you to the trust in the faith. I have a personal experience, but the literature of the Eastern wisdom is filled with, you have a highest level of endurance. Highest level of endurance, because the faith, the trust is there that I am not the body, not the breath, not the mind, not the intellect, not the ego, not the reaction. I am of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. We have hundreds of examples explained in different texts. So we will talk the last session. That is all for today. I think everyone has done. Samir has left, perhaps, yes. Thank you very much. We'll meet again. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.